In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Dear brothers and sisters in faith, imagine for a moment. What if I told you that there exists just one verse in the Qur'an, a single, powerful verse that, when recited 21 times after the ASR prayer, could become the key that unlocks the gates of Rizq, provision, Barakah, blessings, and divine mercy in your life? Yes, you heard that correctly. One verse, recited with sincerity and devotion during a time when the heavens are wide open, can draw down Allah's blessings upon your home and heart in ways you could never have imagined. The secret of a verse after ASR prayer. Honored viewers, some of the saints and righteous predecessors have emphasized the unimaginable power hidden in this brief yet magnificently profound verse of the Holy Quran. According to them, if a believer recites this verse 21 times after the ASR Salah, it brings immense pleasure to Allah, so much so that He bestows abundant provisions, blesses their household, and lifts the burdens of this world from their shoulders. But why after ASR? What is so special about this moment of the day? To fully appreciate this practice, we must first delve deeper into the significance of the ASR prayer itself, as explained by the Qur'an, Hadith, and the scholars of our deen. The unique virtue of the ASR prayer. Islamic teachings refer to the ASR prayer as the middle prayer, Salat al-Wasta, a term that appears in the Qur'an itself, with strong emphasis laid upon guarding it diligently. Allah commands in the Qur'an, "Guard strictly your prayers, especially the middle prayer, and stand before Allah with devotion." Surah al-Baqarah 2-238. This middle prayer, as explained by many scholars, is none other than ASR. It is the dividing point of the day, the time when the light of the sun begins to fade and shadows lengthen. Spiritually, it symbolizes the transition between the hustle of the day and the calm before the night, and hence becomes an especially sacred moment for supplication. The Messenger of Allah paid great attention to this prayer and even linked success in the hereafter to it. He said, "Whoever observes the ASR prayer consistently will enter paradise." Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Let that sink in. Simply protecting and observing this one prayer consistently could be your ticket to Jannah. Yet the opposite is also true. Missing ASR carries a heavy weight. The beloved Prophet warned, "Whoever misses the ASR prayer, it is as if he has lost his family and wealth." Sahih Muslim. What a profound warning. The loss of one's family and wealth represents one of the greatest worldly calamities imaginable. And the Prophet used that imagery to describe the consequence of missing this one prayer. That is how crucial ASR is in the sight of Allah. The rotation of the angels at ASR and Fajr. There's another reason ASR is unlike any other part of the day. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Angels come to you in shifts at night and during the day, and they all assemble at Fajr and ASR. Those who have spent the night among you ascend to the heavens, and Allah asks them, though He already knows, in what condition did you leave my servants? They reply, we left them while they were praying, and we came to them while they were praying." Sahih Bukhari. How beautiful is that? To be caught in a state of salah by angels at the very moment they ascend to the heavens with our deeds is a blessing unlike any other. Imagine the report that is carried up on your behalf, "We left him, her in prayer, O Allah." The Prophet knew how important this moment was. That's why in another narration from Jarir bin Abdullah, he said, "You shall certainly see your Lord as you see this full moon, clear and unobstructed." So if you can avoid being absent from prayer before sunrise and before sunset, Fajr and ASR. The last words of the Prophet. Even in his final moments on this earth, the Prophet Muhammad used his precious breath to remind the Ummah about prayer. His departing advice included, "Guard your prayers and those under your care." These were not just words of reminder, they were his legacy, his final instruction, and a clear emphasis on the irreplaceable value of prayer in a Muslim's life. The 5 pillars and the priority of Salah. Prayer isn't just a ritual, it's one of the 5 foundational pillars of Islam, as narrated by Hazrat Abdullah ibn Umar. Islam is built on 5. Bearing witness that there is no deity but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. establishing prayer, paying zakat, performing hajj, and fasting during Ramadan. When the Prophet was asked by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud about which deed is most beloved to Allah, he replied, "Prayer at its prescribed time." He then added, "Then kindness to parents, then striving in the path of Allah." Sahih Bukhari. So we learn that not only is timely prayer the most beloved deed in the sight of Allah, it's also a means of erasing sins, as illustrated by another hadith. If there was a river at the door of one of you in which he bathed 5 times a day, would there be any dirt left on him? The companions responded, "No, O Messenger of Allah." Allah erases sins through them. Sahih Bukhari. Dear listener, if you have journeyed with us this far through the virtues of the Asr prayer, the testimony of angels, and the immense value of observing Salah at its prescribed times, then your heart is now ready to receive the core message. A message so simple and yet so weighty that it can uplift your days and bless your nights. That message is the power of a single verse of the Qur'an, a verse that is among the most majestic and awe-inspiring verses ever revealed. A verse that scholars say contains the essence of Tawheed, divine oneness, divine sovereignty, mercy, and protection. A verse that, when recited with faith and regularity, especially 21 times after Asr, becomes a light in the darkness, a fortress from harm, and a vessel of Rizq, provision. That verse, dear brothers and sisters, is none other than Ayat al-Kursi. Surah al-Barakah 22-155. Ayat al-Kursi is not just any verse, it is the greatest verse in the Quran as affirmed by our beloved Prophet Muhammad. The greatest verse of the Quran. In a narration recorded by Imam Muslim, the Prophet once asked his companion Ubay ibn Ka'b, "Oh, Abu al-Mundir, do you know which verse in the Book of Allah is the greatest?" Without hesitation, Ubay replied, "Ayat al-Kursi." The Prophet smiled with joy and said, "May knowledge always delight you, O Abu al-Mundir." What an incredible honor to be praised by the Prophet for recognizing the power of this one verse. But what makes Ayat al-Kursi so extraordinary? Let us reflect on its meanings, word by word. Allah. There is no deity but Him. The verse begins with the declaration of Tawheed, the very foundation of Islam. It proclaims that Allah alone is the Lord, Sustainer, and Creator. No one else is worthy of worship, and no one shares in His divinity. This verse shatters all illusions of worldly power and refocuses our heart toward the one who truly holds control over our destiny, our Rizq, health, and happiness. In a world where people attach their hopes to bosses, wealth, or status, this verse calls us back to pure reliance on Allah. Al-Hayy al-Qayyum. These two names of Allah are profoundly rich. Al-Hayy means the ever-living. Allah never dies, never slumbers, never weakens. He is eternally aware and ever-present. He doesn't require sustenance or rest. Al-Qayyum means the self-sustaining, the sustainer of all. Every soul, every star, every seed in the earth exists only because Allah sustains it. Your breath, your heartbeat, your wealth, your family all remain because of His decree and permission. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes Him. Unlike human beings who must sleep, who tire and forget, Allah is never overcome by any weakness. He does not rest because He never needs to. He is constantly in control, fully aware of everything in the heavens and the earth. Imagine trusting your life, your sustenance, and your future to a Lord who is never unaware of your needs. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth. Everything in creation belongs to Allah. All of it. The stars in the sky, the birds in the trees, the seas, the forests, your body, your wealth, none of it is yours permanently. It all returns to Him. He gives it in trust and He takes it back as He wills. When we recite this part of Ayat al-Kursi, we remind ourselves that we are not owners but servants. Who is it that can intercede with Him except by His permission? This part of the verse reveals that no one, not even the greatest angels or prophets, can intercede on behalf of another soul without Allah's permission. Even the mightiest creations stand humbled before Him. This inspires awe and reverence in the heart of the believer. He knows what is before them and what is behind them. Allah's knowledge is absolute. He knows the past, present, and future. He knows what is open and what is hidden deep within the chest. He is fully aware of our thoughts, our fears, and our secrets. Reciting this verse is to submit to the infinite knowledge of Allah and to find comfort in His complete understanding of our situation. In comparison to the divine is a mere drop in the ocean. So when we recite Ayat al-Kursi, we bow our minds to the infinite majesty of divine knowledge. His Kursi throne extends over the heavens and the earth. The Kursi is a majestic symbol of Allah's command and authority. The Prophet said the size of the Kursi in comparison to the heavens and the earth is like a ring thrown in a desert. Imagine how vast His dominion truly is. If the Kursi itself is that grand, then how majestic must be the one who owns it. And He feels no fatigue in guarding and preserving them. Allah watches over every single atom of creation without effort, without weariness. You and I can barely handle the problems of our own households, but Allah guards the galaxies, the jinn, the humans, the animals, and the unseen without the slightest fatigue. To recite this verse is to surrender your worries to the one who never sleeps and never forgets. And He is the Most High, the Most Great. This ending affirms Allah's elevation above all creation in position, power, and greatness. He is not like the kings of this world. He is beyond comprehension, beyond limitation, beyond flaw. And that is why this verse, when recited with full understanding, becomes a fortress of light around the believer. It's no wonder that our Prophet Muhammad said, "Whoever recites Ayat al-Kursi after every fard obligatory prayer, nothing stands between him and paradise except death." Sunan al-Nasai Hazen. The 21x after ASR practice, why it's special. Now, some pious elders and scholars have observed through generations that when this verse is recited 21 times after ASR, it opens up unexpected doors of Barakah, Rizq, and spiritual healing. Although this specific number 21 is not found in the Sunnah, it is a tested and recommended spiritual practice, a wazifa based on Quranic words and timed with a moment the Prophet praised greatly, Asr prayer. Some righteous Muslims have recounted how, after adopting this daily routine, long-pending debts were suddenly repaid. Sustenance increased from unknown sources. Marital disputes softened and peace returned to the home. Emotional heaviness was lifted. Doors of divine mercy opened with ease. It is a non-innovative, rooted in centuries of personal experiences and supported by the excellence of both the verse and the time it is recited. How to recite it? Pray your ASR Salah with presence and devotion. Sit in your prayer place, facing the Qibla. Recite Ayat al-Kursi 21 times. After completing, raise your hands and make dua. Ask Allah for rizq, protection, barakah, and relief from your burdens. You will find that this practice, when done consistently, becomes a source of immense tranquility and spiritual fulfillment. In conclusion, my dear brother, my dear sister, the Quran is a treasure beyond imagination, and within it, Ayat al-Kursi stands as a jewel of light. Recite it not just for worldly benefit, but because you love Allah, because you seek closeness to Him, because you want to be among those who are always remembered by the angels and blessed with Allah's special gaze. If you make this a daily habit, especially after Asr 21 times, every day you may very well witness your life change in ways you never thought possible. And always remember, when you turn to Allah sincerely, He never turns you away. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more inspiring Islamic content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.